Welcome to Tea Time with Miss Carol. Well, today I have a really special treat for you. I'm going to be reading a book about golf, and this one's called The Adventures of Andrew on the Golf Course, Book 2, Danger. You say, what kind of danger is on the golf course? Well, stick around and you'll find out. Well, I wanted to show you a different kind of tea. The kind of tea that's not this kind of tea, but the kind of tea that you have when you're referring to a golf game. See this? This is a tee. You stick it partially in the ground and you put your ball on top of it, and then you take your driving club and you whack it really hard. Oh, where's my driving club? Here it is. Driving club. So you hit it really hard and hopefully it goes way down the fairway. And then when you're finally on the green, you use your putter. And your putter you'll use differently. You won't hit it real hard. You'll be very careful. And you'll hit it carefully and hopefully it goes right in the hole. Well, there we go. There are two other things about golf. I'm pretty new at golf, but it's a big fun sport, and I do like that it's on a golf course. It's so beautiful. It's like being in a park, and there's all kinds of animals. In fact, let me see. I have a song that we're going to sing first before we start our story time, and I have a friend with me who wants to introduce the song. And it's Freddie. Hi, Freddie. How are you? Oh, I know. I'm going to tell the kids. Freddie would like for you to please join us in singing 5 Green and Speckled Frogs. He gets very excited about that. Well, okay, Freddie, you want to sit over here in the basket and we'll sing your song for you. I think that makes him pretty happy, y'all. So we are going to do that. I've got my ukulele with me and it's ready. So here we go. 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating the most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Then there were just 4 green speckled frogs. 4 green and speckled frogs. Rather not get wet today. Oh, he does love that song. And now it's our story time. A little bit of more tea, please. Story time with Miss Carol. Tea time 2. Now, in order to read, I need to put on my glasses. Now, you'll remember last time I read, where's that other book? The very first book we read was The Adventures of Andrew on the Golf Course by Ragsdale, Book 1. And it was about a mama duck. At the very back of his books, of all of his books, he has some golf terms, which I wanted to read a few from the first book. Okay, tee box. We talked about the tee, didn't we? The tee box is a place where each player begins each hole. The fairway. It's the area between the tee box and the putting green. Remember, we talked about the putting green. So the fairway is that long ways that you're going to use your driver to hit the ball toward the green. The putting green, an area where the grass is cut very short so you can putt the ball easily. All putting greens will have a flag stick and a hole, and that's so players know where to aim their shots. And what you're aiming for is to put your little ball in that hole. Golf course. This is the place where you go to play golf. Most golf courses have 18 holes. Now, Mr. Rod and I live at a 9-hole golf course, which is plenty fine for me since I'm very new. Driving range. This is where the golfers practice hitting golf balls, lots of golf balls in a bucket, and they just hit the balls with their driving club, and they keep hitting them, and they try to make farther and farther and farther, and they get better and better. St. Andrew's Golf Course. Now that's who Andrew is named after. It's the oldest golf course in the world. It was built in 1552 in Scotland. And do you know you can still play on that golf course today? That would be pretty cool. I know Mr. Rod would like to go visit. So anyway, the second book, the second adventure is called Danger. What kind of danger can you get on a golf course? I guess we're going to find out. Hi, my name is Andrew. I think I'm one of the luckiest kids in the world. In the summertime when school is out, you can find me playing my favorite game, golf. Now you'll notice that the first page in the second book is the cover from the first book. I did the illustrations. I'm kind of proud of that. My dad is the superintendent. He is the person who makes sure that the golf course looks as nice as it can be. He reminds me, you should always leave the golf course better shape than when you found it. Which means you should replace the divots and rake the sand traps, and don't leave any garbage on the golf course. I get up with him early in the mornings before the sun comes up, and we head to work. He and his crew have a lot to do before the first golfers come to play. There are different types of mowers that cut grass at different heights. The sand traps get raked and the grass get watered, and when it's done, it looks like a beautiful park. And this is true, and there's lots of wonderful wildlife animals that are on a golf course, like frogs and turtles, and squirrels and geese and ducks. Now, the first thing you do when I go to the driving range is I pick up all the balls that were used the previous days. I wash them off, I put them in small buckets, and they're ready to use again. Then after I get the range cleaned, I practice some myself, Andrew says. Then I go out and play a game of golf. Golf is a great game, but to be good at it, my dad reminds me, to be good at anything, such as music or art or sports, it takes practice. Well, that is certainly true. I had planned to play golf by myself that morning, but when I walked over to the first tee, I noticed 2 elderly gentlemen in a golf course getting ready to go. It was Mr. Logan and Mr. Simpson. I knew them well. We had played numerous times before. They invited me to play with them. Mr. Logan and Mr. Simpson were best friends for many years, and now they were both retired. They were both about 70, and they had to use a golf cart instead of walking. Now, Andrew's going to use a pull cart, and he's going to walk beside them. That morning was so beautiful. The sun was just coming up, and there were long shadows from the trees of the morning dew. The birds were singing, the squirrels were running all over the place looking for breakfast. Best of all, there was that smell of fresh cut grass. It was a new, clean smell, and I loved it. We were all having fun that day on the golf course when we came to the fourth tee. Now, this design on the fourth tee is very unusual. The fourth tee box is at the bottom of the hill, and the putting green is at the top of the hill. I'm already breathing pretty hard when I get to the top of that hill. Plus, the golf ball doesn't roll very good uphill. I hit my tee shot a little to the left side of the fairway. Mr. Logan and Mr. Simpson were pretty good, and they both hit theirs pretty much down the middle of the fairway. They both got into their golf cart, and I grabbed my pull cart, and we all headed up that steep hill. As I walked, I looked back over my shoulder. I was leaving footprints on the grass. It was kind of like when you leave footprints in snow. It's really cool. I was breathing pretty hard when I came to where my golf ball was, and I had to rest. And I looked down at it, and I looked to the green. I was trying to calculate what club I should use next. And all of a sudden, Mr. Logan and Mr. Simpson had parked their cart between their golf balls on the fairway, on that hill. Mr. Logan put the parking brake on, and both men went behind the cart to select their clubs. Mr. Simpson pulled a club out, and he walked over to his ball. Mr. Logan is still behind the golf cart, trying to decide. That's when things started going terribly wrong. The parking brake on the golf cart accidentally popped off, and it began to roll backwards, taking Mr. Logan with it. Oh my. At first, Mr. Logan pushed against the cart, trying to keep it from moving, but he had no chance, and the cart began to rapidly roll backwards down the hill. Mr. Logan fell on his back, and his legs were caught between the rear wheels. The cart was speeding faster and faster. Oh my goodness. I dropped my golf club, and I ran down the hill as fast as I could, yelling, "Mr. Logan! Mr. Logan! Mr. Logan!" Mr. Simpson slowly turned, confused at what was happening. You could see on his face the concern for his friend. The cart flew down the hill 100 yards, with Mr. Logan caught between the back tires. Finally, the cart rolled to a stop at the bottom of the hill. I ran down the hill, terrified at what I was going to find. It seemed like forever when I finally got down to the golf cart. I could hear Mr. Logan in the back moaning, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." "Don't move, Mr. Logan." My heart was pounding. "I'm going to push this cart off of you." With all my might, I pushed the cart. Mr. Logan continued moaning, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." I carefully pushed the cart off of him. Mr. Simpson arrived breathing heavily, and he knelt beside Mr. Logan. "Oh dear." He was looking at his injuries. "Are you okay, my dear friend? Where are you hurt?" "Oh no, oh no," Mr. Logan continued, moaning. Mr. Logan slowly sat up, continuing to say, "Oh no, oh no. My wife is going to kill me. I got grass stains all over my pants." Mr. Simpson and I looked at each other and said, "What? You mean to tell me you're not hurt?" "Oh no," said Mr. Logan. "But my wife is going to be so upset if she has to wash these pants over and over again. I'm in such big trouble. I know after sliding down that hill, I've got big grass stains." Mr. Logan's kind of cute. Whew. "You mean you're really not hurt?" I asked, concerned. "Oh, heck no," he declared. It was actually kind of fun sliding down that hill. I was really flying, wasn't I? Then he added with a chuckle in his voice, in fact, you know, when I was your age, Andrew, I used to slide down hills on cardboard boxes. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Mr. Simpson? Mr. Simpson agreed, really relieved. Oh, we're so glad you're okay. The only concern I have now, Andrew, is that when I get home, I'm in a lot of trouble with my wife. And we all laughed at Mr. Simpson and I helped Mr. Logan up off the ground. Maybe the golf cart and the golf course isn't that dangerous after all. Then all of a sudden we were finally standing at the top of the hill at the putting green. We looked down the fairway and we could see that long dew marks that Mr. Logan had left as he slid down to the bottom of the hill in his cart. We all looked at each other. Our faces went from concern to laughter. I thought, how lucky that had ended. Nothing unusual really happened the rest of the round other than Mr. Logan continued to play well. We all shook hands at the end of the 18th green, and then we headed to the clubhouse. Mr. Simpson bought me a soda while Mr. Logan went on to tell of his misadventures to the other members of the club. It's always fun to have a story to tell at the end of an adventure, isn't it? Especially when it ends well. I hope you enjoyed today's story of Andrew on the Golf Course, Book 2, Danger. And if you like this series, it's all found at Amazon. Just look up Carol Dabney. All Mr. Rod's books are there. I have so enjoyed this tea time with you all. I hope you come back next time for the next book. It's about a tournament. Until then, happy tea time.